Welcome to WABI's live coverage of the 58th annual Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race. I am Ben Barr, joined by Brian Sullivan here at 6 Mile Falls. Connor Magliozzi will be streamside later on in the broadcast along with our outstanding behind-the-scenes crew. Sully, you know, we've gotten a fast start so far when it comes to folks coming through this famous stretch. Starting to show up around 11:30. Our broadcast runs from noon to 2, so can't wait to see what's to come.
Yeah, you haven't missed much. We've seen a few boats go through. Perennial winner Trevor McLean has come and gone. That is boat 55. That is Sarah Delarada and Alexandra Introne. I'm going to guess Alexander, actually. Both out of Orono. That's boat 55. They make their way over the rapids there. Maybe get rid of a little bit of water. But you haven't missed much action. We've seen a couple people get a little wet here at the falls. Also seen a couple people make it just fine. Water levels seem to be not too bad today there, Ben.
That's right. McLean came through at about 11:30, had about a 5 or 10 minute lead on the next person up. The thing is, they never go through the rapids. We're here to see all this rapid action. And the very first group to ever come through today was Pedro Waters and Silas Haggerty out of Gorham in the number 38. Had no problem with the rapids. You could not say the same for the Galapos in number 53 out of Orono. They were the first ones of the day, but now we're all caught up to broadcast action.
That's Colin Hull and Max Jennings making their way through. They are both out of Bangor, so a couple local guys with a nice paddle on a say spoke too soon.
That's your first look at Pride Rock, and then even up the creek, literally, I think that's 52, I believe. Matt Zaugus and Ian Hughes, if that is, the Portland crew. 61's recovered off Pride Rock, Sully.
You got a pretty nice contingent of spectators here as it was rainy to start the day, but that's starting to fade away. And as you can see, plenty of people out here to enjoy, as this is one of the great spots to take in the race. And like you said, this is where the action is. It's a 10 miles of flat water to get to right here. That's John Keating and Matt Walsh out of Auburn and Green, Maine, respectively.
So far, when they've gone down the middle of the rapids, they have that little side step going on that helps them cut against the grain. It's worked out pretty good. 79, we got a solo rider, Matt Polstein out of Millinocket. Millinocket is here at 6 Mile Falls. And yeah, so it was pouring pretty much until 11 in the morning. It's cleared away finally. Might have one more patch later this afternoon. Not sure if it'll be in the broadcast window yet. Have to ask Kurt, Todd, and Emily about that one more time. Mark Rediker, one of our photo talks here on the scene, mentioned that we got medium water levels today, so I'm a rookie. Take with that what you will.
Matt Polstein, a good friend of the weather department because runs the New England Outdoor Center. One of the many shots that we take in our weather casts. So very nice to see Matt out here making good on the New England Outdoor Center. If you don't do the paddle, what are you doing?
I think he probably knew what was going on. He said, I know WABI is going to be on at noon. I want to come through the falls and get on TV.
You see some of the people there standing streamside taking this thing in.
We want to thank Coastal Auto Parts, the title sponsor for our coverage of today's race. Coastal Auto Parts, owned and operated by a Maine family that cares, and that's a bumpy ride, Sully.
For a couple of New Hampshire boys, Anthony Caruso and Adam Merquan out of Warner, New Hampshire, and Center Harbor, New Hampshire.
Now, the real winners are the fans, like you mentioned a minute ago, but they had their smartphones out. I wonder if we'll ever have an Augusta National policy here. Probably not.
No way.
You got to get these highlights.
Too stuffy for us.
That's right. We got another solo kayaker coming on down, a GoPro, apparently. We're going to have to talk to him to get Brian Foley's footage out of Southwest Harbor. The 88, Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan.
Sure he is.
He's not intimidated by that couple of rapids.
Right on his heel. I can't get that bib number, but they did it just fine as well.
We got a duo trying to dodge the rocks, and they just buzz right by it.
Oh, come on.
That's okay, fellas. 52. In the 52 car.
Matt Zaugus and Ian Hughes.
They did have a little bit of trouble up top, though, so it's good to see those Portland boys recover.
Way to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the ones that are really looking to have a good finishing time, Sully. They usually go up off to the left in Portage, out wide of where we even see the rapids. So some are in it to win it, and some are just in it for the 6 Mile Falls.
Some are just in it. I think that's the majority of people are just in it. Out there for good exercise, some fellowship. Hey, I got a canoe. Let's take it out. That's Peter Gagnon, depending on how French you are, and Jerry Meisenheimer, Auburn, and Stu Ben, Maine.
Weisenheimer, they're doing fine, zigzagging along. They've got a good cheering section on the right side Portage area. Those guys up there on the rock there, they had a good fire going on earlier on, but
there's
you
also
never know how long it'll last.
A Cub Scout troop that's selling hot dogs and stuff down. It's really an untapped market. For years, somebody needed to have a little sugar shack here, and finally, these Cub Scouts are cleaning up down the way. That's Allison Reisinger and Mark Reisinger out of Levant.
And, you know, funny you should say that, because me and Brian Carter, we were talking about we need to have a concession stand right here. I think that'd be good.
Of course, this race goes back all the way to 1967. Lou Gilman, Sonny Colburn came up with the idea of a springtime canoe race, and it really has hit and stuck. This has been a staple of, 58 years people have been doing this thing.
That's incredible. 67, I remember that was when my Flyers first came into the NHL, and they also haven't won a cup in 50 years. So, 8 years even past that. That's how long this tradition is. 58th K race.
Let's talk more about the Flyers.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, people love
a miserable year along with your Bruins as well. From the ground up.
Funny little fun facts about this race. 1972, most paddlers bumped into submerged rocks, including Walt Abbott. Everybody knows Walt Abbott. He reported that he and his paddling partner bumped into a different sort of obstacle during the race. A rotting carcass of a dead cow tangled up out here, became known as Bullseye Bridge after that. So look out. You never know what's coming your way here. If Walt Abbott says there's a cow in the river, there's a cow in the river.
That was going to be my first guess of how that story was going to ultimately end. That is wild. A moment ago, you got to look at Rodney, our behind-the-scenes camera guy. Everybody trying to get out of his way.
Joe Horn and Ann Hurley, both out of Gouldsboro, boat number 54.
Not the same Joe Horn as the New Orleans Saints legendary wide receiver. Do you think he'll pull out his cell phone now that he's on camera?
Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe.
1974, not to be outdone by the streaker who ran across the stage during the 46 Academy Awards a few weeks earlier. Two streakers cruised through 6 Mile Falls wearing nothing but life jackets, Ben. Au naturel over the rapids.
Commando! Bob Martin and Terry Westcott coming through. Dedham and Thorndike. Plenty of representation from that area in this race lineup of 404 bib numbers.
Chip Loring, Jeff Owens out of Old Town in Orono, bib number 140. And so you figure the way this thing goes is they go 5 crafts a minute starting at 10 o'clock. So boat 140 is going at a pretty good clip to be up here at this point.
Yeah, absolutely right. We've got Clayton Forrest, Cody McDonald taking the wide way around. This is sequential 36 to 35 or 25 seconds.
That's Sean Erie and William White out of Newport, Maine and Dover, New Hampshire.
Another one coming on down. That was a bumpy ride, but they're okay, and they could have ended up more wet, but they're dry enough. Keela Borden, Maisie Mers, Tom Pacaro out of Orono.
Really starting to heat up a little bit here. We get a good clip of crafts making their way through.
Yeah, when it comes to how busy the action is, yeah, it's heating up. Temperature-wise, I'm going to wait on Kurt Olson for that one. Oh, we had a hard fall, one behind Jay Baltz on the kayak out of Brunswick. There you go. Obviously, we're going to need a second, Brian, to get the bib number on that one. Oh, number 4.
Anna Bateman, Mac Bateman, Rex Bateman, the family Bateman out of Herman, getting the drink.
The family that wipes out together at 6 Mile Falls stays together, Sully.
Yeah, or paddles water out of their canoe together, gets back to it.
I bet you that's a family of 4 where they had one person that didn't want to race, and now they're laughing at him on TV.
Sure, yeah.
87, Sidney Crosby, Alex Champa, I'm hoping, Amesbury, Mass. If you're watching, I'm sorry for butchering your buddy's name. Let's see if he'll butcher the falls. No, just grinded right on through. He's got a hockey helmet. He's another sad Bruins fan.
See, far from an expert, but you got to paddle through. The crafts that seem to go astray is you got one person who's grinding, and then the other person picks up the paddle, craft turns in the water, boom, you go in the water.
It's like when I make my putts. You know, you hit it so firm that it beats the break and it goes right in the hole.
I don't make many, so no, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to let you know. Oh, it's your buddies. 58.
Cam and Ty Sullivan, number 58. Let's see what Connor Magliozzi is doing streamside.
Hey guys, so we see it year after year, and we just saw it a couple of minutes ago. Those rapids down that way, a bit of a challenge for a lot of the people who are taking part in this race. Now here's the thing, if they don't want to face those rapids, they do have an option, and it's this little alleyway right here. We have a giant sign that says re-enter here. For anyone not wanting to face it, they can get out of the canoe, kayak, they can run down this way, they'll go right back into here. One little interesting thing though is that obviously you're trying to avoid capsizing. This is a pretty slick area, so we might see a few capsizes for those trying to avoid the rapids. And listen, I'm no scientist. There's a reason why my college degree was pushing a red button twice, but I feel like as more and more people come this way, it's gonna get a little bit more slick. So something to see here as we are here streamside. Should be a ton of fun for the rest of the day. In the meantime, I'm gonna send it back to you guys.
You know, that's a great point from Connor Sully. I'd be so embarrassed. Not only am I portaging, but I'm also slipping and falling while portaging.
Yeah, far from ideal. That shot we had upstream of boat 137, that's Ethan Hardy, Jesse Sweet. You can see all those stickers on the side of their canoe, and there's some of the emergency responders there. But you can see all the stickers from the canoe because they've done it so frequently, they know exactly what they're doing. That's, who's that right there, 85?
Mark Bamford from Bucksport. He's a big Brian Sullivan fan, obviously.
There's so many.
Just to clean up our first visit with Connor, he's got his game going with his olive green boots and
he's
jacket,
ready,
matching
he's ready to
it
rock
up.
and roll.
Very nice.
Wide shot there, 6 Mile Falls is a nice. The viewing has amplified here. The city of Bangor shut off one lane of traffic, so there's a lot more area to watch up here, all from the bridge.
Leslie Gregory, Monroe, Maine, coming right through into your living room. And that's another point, we were talking about our setup location here. It's a prime spot, and we've heard folks lining up, starting at 5:30 in the morning just to hang out on the old bridge and watch the race all day. As a point of reference, that puts you at a 6-hour wait between being here and seeing the first folks come through.
Nice shot there. The people taking in the sights and sounds from under a little bit of cover underneath the 6 Mile Falls Bridge.
Yeah, you needed that cover earlier on when it was really pouring. So.
I don't know if we can get that shot upstream of that canoe that has all the stickers on alongside of it, but if you think about it, it's 10 miles to get here. You're probably gassed. The experienced paddler says, okay, let's take a breather. Let's come on back down, get a little Gatorade in us, get the water out that's come in, and let's take this baby on if that's what we're going to do. And if you come that far, you probably are going to try and take on the falls.
You got to know to mind your pace a little bit to have some juice in you in order to fight off these falls, man.
Sure.
Don't want to fall like a rag doll.
See somebody's flotation device, anti-water apparatus going down the falls without them.
Connor did have his boots on today. It sounds like he's going to get in the water in some capacity. And here we go. Jared Carr out of Cornish is getting all set up to conquer the remaining 6 miles. That's why they call it 6 Mile Falls after all, buddy.
I talked to Deb Jondro, she's the race director, yesterday leading up to this. They had 380 crafts signed up. They got up to 404 this morning, so 24 people got up, or 24 groups got up and said, you know what, it's rainy, but I don't care, I'm gonna do it. So 404 boats launched 10 miles upstream from the town of Kenduskeag here before all is said and done. Like I said, 5 a minute, so you do the math on that when 404 go So around 11:30, the last boat probably launched.
You're asking me to do math. What on earth, buddy? Fisher Clark and Nathan Lavoie out of Orono are coming down the stream right now. And Sully, you also brought up that earlier canoe with a bunch of stickers. Our buddy Tom Brindell has 40 of them. He's been in year in and year out. We'll see him in our later feature stories during the show. And those guys at number 56 had no problem.
Yeah, that's pretty smooth right there. The key is you got to avoid, once you make it through, there's that rock right there just waiting on you. So
right.
Once again, they navigated it pretty smooth, and they're going to just keep on powering through.
They're smart to not pose for the camera, you know, because as soon as you get proud, you hit Pride Rock right there.
There it is, calling for you.
Yeah, beckoning. The wayward song in the middle of the creek. I hope it's not like Augusta National where we have to say stream and creek every time. The patrons, not fans.
Yeah, we're coming up on the back 6 miles here. You know, not the second 6. You can't say back 9.
Oh, yes.
Can't say back 9.
That's right.
A couple more crafts coming towards the rapids upstream.
Yeah, you go from Masters Weekend to loosening your tie here at the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race. Shout out the crews. They've had a couple tosses already here today, but everyone's been okay.
T. St. Albans and Sophia Short out of Glenburn. T probably short for something, but.
Yeah, Connor Alley, Jonathan Hicks, and Justin Pelletier, I'm guessing, Oakland, Maine, Clinton, Connecticut, Madawaska, Maine. How on earth do they know each other? That's 3 last names in 3 faraway towns.
College.
They got to get on the same page now, though. They're giving the crews something to do.
Jacob Kubitz, Zachary Kubitz from New York and LA both make their way through. There you go.
That's another college crew, you got to say, right?
Well, they have the same last name, so probably brothers. Well, father and son, maybe.
I'll go with Ruby's also. Bergeson, Johan Bergeson, Caitlin Cross, Colton McEntee, Old Town Castine, the number 7 from earlier on. Then you got Jake Farley and Jason Millette. Flint, Michigan, a Tropics fan.
You got to keep that paddle. You got to keep going.
Connor, what's going on?
Hey guys, I don't know if you spotted that. We just had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles go by on a canoe. Now, one of my favorite things that we see year after year is some of the elaborate costumes that a lot of these people competing in this race wear. Now, I know this is a question that I typically ask year after year, and for you guys in the booth, I have to ask you, if all 3 of us were going to be partaking in this race, what kind of costumes do you think we would have and why?
This year I'm going to go 3 Stooges. I think we got to emphasize the different hairstyles. I think that would be hilarious. Everyone thinks about the costumes, but then if you get a big afro in there, that'd look very, very funny.
Well, Connor, I guess which direction are you going?
Listen, this is going to sound like a cop-out, but I promise you, coming into today, I thought to myself, if I'm ever going to do this race, it was going to be the Turtles. I'm not going to lie to you.
Ooh, what turtle would you be?
Listen, I've always been a Michelangelo kind of person. That's just me personally. I was always the goofball growing up, so I feel like it was fitting.
Okay, and you, Ben?
Well, I was Raphael.
Yeah,
Raphael.
Okay, we need to get 2 more, and I would go with Splinter. How about that? That would be good.
Donatello always gets left out, just like on that canoe we saw a second ago. Breaks my heart, my poor guy.
Meredith Hardy, John Quinn right there, and another good idea. I think Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and then Slinky.
Not bad. There you go. So bib 67, but boat 37. I got questions.
Oh, yeah, there must have been one heck of a wreck earlier on. They got their canoes crossed up.
So it could
best 2 out of 3 at 67.
It could also be Alex and Wayne Gray out of Bar Harbor. So either way, we've got our ducks in a row there.
We just have a paddle high five.
Yeah,
that is team building after the 6 Mile Falls. Little bit of a break in the action here. When I was talking to Tom Brindell for my feature this week, he mentioned that, it was all kinds of weather. They've done it in 90 degrees. They've done it in chilly and rainy stuff like this. And I've done this for 4 years, and it's pretty much been this. So I'm still awaiting that 90-degree day, and we'll keep on waiting. After this break, we'll be right back from 6 Mile Falls.
Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race is a timed event over a 16.5-mile course that begins in the village of Kenduskeag. Much of the race is over flat water, but there are some rapids along the route, including the notorious 6 Mile Falls. This is an optional portage point, approximately 10 miles into the course. Many participants choose to run the rapids here, and the site has become a highlight of the event for spectators seeking vicarious thrills from watching race participants navigate the sometimes treacherous drop. Here's a look at the Flour Mill Dam section of the course, one of 2 mandatory portages paddlers face before they make their way into the city of Bangor. The side of the canals lets paddlers know that the finish line is within reach, and fittingly, the race course ends near Kenduskeag Plaza. Live coverage of the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race on WABI is sponsored by Coastal Auto Parts, owned and operated by a Maine family that cares. Physical Therapy and Balance Center in Bangor. Call Physical today and love your life. Next Home Experience. Get lubed and get sold. 201 Power Sports, offering power sport rentals and more in Bingham, The Forks, and Jackman. Winsmore Garage Stores and more. Everyone wins at Winsmore. And Canoe, featuring 3 floors of creative dining inside and out.
Welcome back to the 58th Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race here at 6 Mile Falls. Ben Barr, Brian Sullivan, Connor Magliosi, and the crew here for you on, of course, WABI, our website, our app, and local streaming platforms. Get it? Streaming platforms. Okay, whatever. We got a couple more. Oh, this is a very imposing canoe coming down. I feel like I'm watching some
Let's get a shot upstream of this guy. Look at this thing, way upstream.
This looks like Vikings are like the wall at Mansfield Stadium. Spencer Benoff, Anna Donnelly, John Doyle, Nick Doyle, Kate Lewis, Chris Pillsbury, New Hampshire and Massachusetts, staking its claim on the rapids, and they're through.
Look at that. Did you get through that whole list?
Yeah, and they got through all those rapids.
That is
a crew.
That's a whole town here in Maine. That's Township 21 right there.
Wow. In fact, I think they did have a scroll on that list. Holy smokes.
Robert Downs, Paul Messer out of West Bath and Veazey, Maine, respectively.
Rounding out that last huge boat, Julie Polkrack Becks and Emerson Zealous. Which calls into question how many people can fit in a canoe in this race. Oh my
so
goodness.
that's, I believe that's what they refer to as a war canoe, which they made their debut in April 17th, 1976. They made their debut in the open class, although an official definition was never given during the early days. A war canoe generally assumed to be around 28 feet long.
Brad Aegis, Hartswell, Maine, in the house, 74. My guess was going to be the war canoe made its debut in the year 982 with Leif Erikson and company getting through.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It did have a bit of a Viking feel to it.
Yeah, that was imposing on the rapids.
Brad Aegis out of Hartswell, Maine.
Here he comes. Bumpity, bumpity, bump. And oh man, that was no problem for old Brad.
There you go. You just kind of drop the paddle down.
The rock.
Ooh, just a
little shimmy that he might feel later in the race.
Let you know he's there.
Yeah, I'll let you know he's there.
Here we go. Another canoe upstream making their way as Brad goes through.
We've seen a lot of serious racers so far. Nobody's really waving to the fans much.
That's Felix Kydell and John Manning from Boston and Castine, Massachusetts.
Little bump and oh, they made that interesting, Sully.
Is there Castine, Massachusetts, or is that a misprint? Either way, it says Castine, Massachusetts.
Daniel St. John Orno. Man, you know, it's funny, like all of a sudden it comes in waves when it comes to all those rock hits.
Sure. Aaron Holyoke, Jamie Holyoke out of Bucksport, no problem.
Here, buddies.
Sorry, almost jinxed him, Nice job to the Holyokes there.
The Golden Buck jinx avoided. Connor, downstream side.
Hey guys, so I'm here with Kim Higgins. Now you were out here being a photographer for this event today for the PDN. First off, how many years have you been covering this event?
This is my first year.
This is your first year. Okay, so I have to ask, what about this spot in particular, strikes you as a good spot, photography-wise?
Well, 6 Mile Falls, everybody has to go over, well, doesn't have to go over, but when they do, it's pretty exciting. So you get a lot of good dumps once in a while, a lot of great expressions.
And so what are you looking for in particular when it comes to some of these photographs? Are you looking for that big, woohoo, cheer into the crowd, or even a bit some of those wipeouts, to be honest?
A little of both. It's great to get the celebration shots. Those are really exciting. They're good emotion, but it's also fun to see a little whitewater dumping too. People like that.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, it's a bit sick of me, but I 1,000% agree with you. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully we get some more here in a little bit, but in the meantime, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Connor, and say hi to Kim for me. We get through tourney week every year. Nice to see you at the event. Kelsey Sullivan, Winterport.
Doing a little Joker makeup there.
Not the only Sullivan Joker on this course right now. Cole Mullins registered, Hamden, Maine, 105.
There we go.
That was another point of emphasis. Connor's costume question from earlier on. We got the Joker mask. Batman and villains would have been a great crew. Batman and Robin.
Sure.
And the Joker.
You got Sean Ames, Josiah Weber, both from Fairfield. Let's see how these guys do. I think they're going to do it.
Did the Lawrence Bulldog
Straighten it
get
up.
through? Yes.
Didn't paddle through. Gravity do the work.
Yeah.
Don't forget about
Carrie
the rock.
Underwood, Jesus take the wheel,
There you
right?
go, yeah.
During our last commercial break, we had Lexi Neto and Henry Rowell take an interesting route, like right above the emergency cruise, not the Maid Rapids, but there's a steep little porch that they fell down, but they navigated it okay. This Salute to Heroes is sponsored by Physical Therapy and Balance Center in Bangor. Call Physical today and love your life. We gotta stay balanced. That's a good idea.
Story of my life. Gotta have balance, man.
That's right.
Gotta have balance.
How soon are you gonna have you and your kiddos in this race?
I actually thought about bringing my oldest to be here with us today. So they're watching at home. Shout out Layla, Lou, my lovely wife Holly. I don't know. Eventually, I would do this. I'd love to try it. I've called it for like 10 years now. I'm not getting close to the Throckmorton level of knowledge of this thing, but I would do it. I like this though. I like calling it. It's a lot drier up underneath here.
Yeah, I have to agree. Lisa Escorcio, Lee McKay, escorting right through Tennant's Harbor, Maine. No problem. That's some smart padding there.
See, here is, people come to check it out. This is a fun time to come. I mean, obviously watch us. We love it, but maybe you bring your phone and you stream us while you're here. I do like watching here from 6 Mile Falls. Great energy here.
The real winners are the fans.
That's the bridge, yeah. Let's see. That's Addie Festel, Julianne Hurst, and Minu Toos, all for them. Youth movement here
Yeah.
at the Kenduskeag Stream.
That's
Canoe
almost
Race
another good
2025.
a traffic light costume. That's another idea. Andy Jones, Morgan Jones, Peter Jones, Bangor, and Irvington, New York. The New Yorkers. 1 out of 3 from New York, but I'll still say. Lucky number 13. Stick with this one. Something might happen. They got to straighten it out.
I sense dissension in the boat.
Dissension and discussions. They're heading towards the portage exit.
Yeah, perhaps a mutiny aboard
Exit only.
the SS Jones there.
13 to 113. Oh, that was a stiff hit.
Alex Ostveen out of Brewer.
He's feeling that one. There we go.
Feeding off the crowd.
That's right. You have to after taking a shot like that. Brewer.
So Ben, you do a lot of coverage leading up to this thing. What were the vibes leading into 2025 Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race? People pretty fired up for it?
Yeah, folks fired up. It's a tradition, and people just, they know what to expect after all these years, which is expect anything. You get the closest weather forecast here from WABI, but then you got to be ready to go. Layer it up.
I see Gumby upstream there, so we're going to check in with Connor, but let's keep our eyes on Gumby as well as Connor Magliozzi, who's downstream.
I'm not going to lie, you have no idea how much my face just lit up when you said that Gumby was on the way. I am here with Kelly from Corinth Streamside. Now I'm going to ask you, how many years have you been coming to this race?
Oh, many, many years, since I was a little kid.
And what about this race in particular makes you want to come back, year in and year out?
For the last 3 years, my daughter has been in it, so I'm here to cheer her on.
And what is your daughter's name?
Caitlin?
Okay, and you told me just a moment ago that she has already come through these rapids. I got to ask, how did she do?
She did wonderful. She didn't dump it. I don't know how they do it year after year. They make it down with no trouble, but
That's fantastic. And I see you picked this viewpoint in particular. What about this area right here stands out to you as a spectator?
because there's less people in the way and you can get a great shot of the kids coming down over those rapids.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. I really appreciate your time. And speaking of people that just came by the rapids, Gumby is here, an absolute fan favorite. You have no idea how excited I got when I found out Gumby was coming down. I got my binoculars and I've been scouting for like 20 minutes waiting. That is fantastic, gentlemen. In the meantime, I'm going to send it back to you, though.
Aboard, thank you very much, Connor. Aboard the SS Gumby Boat 11, Craft 11, Hannah Day, Keegan Day, Madison Doucette, and Dan Pelletier from Bangor, Milford, Wiscasset, and Alton. Awesome. So glad that we got Gumby on the air.
They must be the originals. They had all the shirts and stuff, but Gumby on that one was inflatable. So I want to see a costume Gumby maybe later in the race.
Murphy Dowdy, Sazy Moore, both out of Portland.
And all the Portland ones know what they're doing today. All right, we got two canoes in quick succession.
193 is Melanie Collins and Peter Ingram. I don't know that I see a Melanie aboard that craft.
Oh boy, that might spell trouble then. Well, a couple of whirligig cappers there. Navigating well. Trying to show us the bib number, but anyway. Davis, Asherman, Everett, Varney, Eddington, and Turner in the mix. In the middle rounds of the race coverage. Look out! Ooh, a nice little board slide off the Pride Rock. Apparently up towards the right portage area, we have a tarps off with backpack / life preserver. That's a brave choice on a cold day like today. Are you a kayaker or a canoer?
I would say kayak, yeah. My parents have a couple kayaks.
Yeah.
So yeah, kayaker.
Along with got to be less variability. The old kayak ripping through the falls.
Some of the people here taking in.
Oh,
We gotta dump it up above.
Pre-rapids wipeout. All right, they're pointing towards the portage area. What a good idea.
There you go. Someone else taking advantage of Portage Alley. I did get a video of Trevor McLean going through before we came on the air. I did post it to my Facebook, so he's the guy that always wins. So if you want to check it out, there is a video of him making his way through around 11:35 or so.
Then you had Orion Fleming. If Trevor's not here, he's in the mix.
He's the guy, yeah. He came through about 5 minutes after Trevor, which Orion's great too.
Yeah,
but,
there's no pressure on him. That's great. Yeah.
Trevor's just a dominant force in this thing every year.
I want to see Connor get a post wipeout interview here pretty soon. Here's a look back at some canoe race history, sponsored by 201 Power Sports, offering power sport rentals and more in Bingham, the Forks, and Jackman. Tom Brindell has plenty of canoe racing experience, but this year he's bringing his grandson Logan Boudelier along for the ride.
Seems like forever. I believe I counted stickers last night, and I think I got like 40 stickers.
I'm real excited. I haven't done the full thing yet, so I'm interested to see what the rest of it looks like and just do it.
Grandpa has enjoyed having his family a part of the racing experience over the years.
I've dragged everybody with me. My wife did it the 25th. That was her one and only. We had a couple discussions on the way down about, I'd say left. She goes, I am on my left, but it worked out. My daughter, my son, and now my grandson. We've all done it. In the last 20 years, my daughter and her husband and myself have been doing sweep.
This year, it's about continuing the family tradition, but you've got to be ready.
It's a rite of spring. We have discussions on the way down, what side to paddle on, where we're going to be, and which way we're going to go. We like the water and white water. We did the Allagash a couple of years ago as a family, too.
I just want to carry it on and, continue doing it.
They will be competing in canoe number 147. Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race on WABI. We just missed Michael Lowry and Bo Parker getting completely hung up on Pride Rock. They were the first of the day. I'm sure they won't be the last.
That's Todd Halligan from Brunswick and Nick Mangino from Guilford, 252.
Grady Hogan and Andre Sneakus out of Portland. They are coming through this place very quickly now.
That's Matt Broughton and Oliver Broughton out of Solon, Maine.
Go with it. Having just no problem at all. 2, 3, 4. The small straight of Jason Bellner and Brian Rahill, Kanan and Orono buddies. And they're headed right at it. Here we go.
Seemed as though
turned around.
Going for it. He was attacking the rock and just sort of wanted to maybe knock it over. There you go. Hey,
hard right turn.
You made it, baby.
Wonder if there's much in the first 10 miles that can prepare them for the 6th mile.
Melanie Collins and Peter Ingram from Portland and South Portland with
bouncy ride.
With a couple trees on board. At one with nature, that's what Ron would want to be on a stream race.
A couple soccer balls. They got their Wilson going on. Or Ray Hutchinson, Edward Terrio, Poland, and Minot, Maine. Oh my. Let's send it down to Connor for his dream interview.
Hey guys, what's going on? So obviously just a minute ago, I got a little too excited, to be honest, when I saw Gumby come by, but how can you not be? Now this gentleman, you came over to me right after that, and you told me that this is a special year in particular for Gumby, right?
Yes, it's 40 years for Gumby. They started in '86 was the first year.
No, that is absolutely fantastic. And for anyone who at home who might not know, can you kind of just please explain to me a little bit about the origin of the Gumby boat?
Okay, so the first year, 2 guys decided to go. They weren't really racers, but they wanted to. They definitely were into Saturday Night Live. Eddie Murphy had a skit with Gumby in it. Kind of speaks for itself. And then, so they ended up going to Spencer Gift in the mall. They found a Gumby doll. They blew it up, threw it in the canoe, had a good time, did it several years, just the 2 of them, the originators. The friends and family that's been involved over the years are fillers. The Sternman has been doing it since early 2000s, late 90s. Both of them are professional guys in their work years, so they would go and say, hey, we need somebody to get in the boat because I can't leave work. So that's how we all ended up in there.
And you told me that you have been on this Gumby boat in particular, correct?
Yeah, I actually paddled for most of the 2000s.
And
until the last 4 years. My daughters, I have 2 daughters in there. One of the originator's daughters that's passed away, she's in there, which means a lot. So, good stuff.
And when you say it means a lot too, especially year after year, whenever Gumby comes by, you get such a loud, applause from the crowd here. And considering that it's 40 years on, just what does it mean for you to know that the Gumby boat is so beloved here?
It's a lot of fun. And as one of the originator, I'm going to throw a shout out to Daryl. The motto is, if you can't be fast, be funny. And that's how this all just kept going as a joke, and people expected us to be seen here, so we kept it going. Now just the next generation's in there. We have 4 kids in there, all from the original crew, so it's awesome.
And I got to ask, what does it mean for you to see, those kids carry on this tradition?
It's a lot of fun. There's some pride there, and they're good paddlers. They're learning.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you so much for your time, sir. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the race. Guys, I'm going to send it back to you.
Thanks, Connor. I can't wait to see Pokey join the crew, too. Classic.
Well,
Gumby Brigade.
It's the guy's telling a great story, and it's you do anything for 40 years, and it's this group of people, and it means so much, and he gets a little choked up while he's talking about it. It's awesome. We have some fun watching this, but this is a race that means so much to so many people. It's a family tradition, and then as it expands on, I do it through the 2000s. Now my kids are doing it. Their kids are going to do it. It's just awesome. And, nobody had ever really illustrated it before, but until he said, if you can't be fast, be funny, I realized that's essentially how I live my life, and I didn't know it until he said it. It's like, you're right. That's the way. If you can't be fast, be funny.
Your mantra.
Exactly. There you go. And he just laid it out there. My mind is blown. So great interview there, Connor.
I can't believe that the original Gumby outfit came from a Spencer Gifts.
My goodness.
So we're actually able to show something from Spencer's on TV. That's great.
What a wild ride that was.
Yeah.
That's Michael McGurk and Morgan McGurk out of Warren, Vermont. Here.
Hey, I got 211. Brett Schifrin and Mia Schifrin from Weld, Maine. I don't know if they're borrowing any skills from Michaela Schifrin to navigate this course.
Ooh, hung up
apparently
on the rock there.
not. They're stuck in reverse. 180.
Oh, she
turn
lost
it
the paddle.
around.
Can't you catch up to the paddle?
Up the creek without a paddle.
You
got to keep a grip. You got the gloves there. You got to catch up to it. It's a constant current. Put the work in. Wet hands over the front. Got it.
All right. We're back in the game, Ben. We're back in the game.
That was dicey.
230 is Mark Eldridge and Matt Hawes from Hamden and South Portland.
All right, I got 201 coming up with Andrew and Lauren Madsen from Orono. Bumpity bump bump.
Also, great interview by Connor, that guy. What was he interviewing the person from the BDN for? Well, that's our competition. What are we doing, Connor? We got to get interviews with the people. Don't be talking to the talker from the Bangor Daily.
There's plenty of good pictures for everybody. James and Jonathan Boucher, Bangor, Maine. Oh, boy. As opposed to Bangor, UK.
Boat 219 is captained by Seth Campbell, first mate, Carl Kreutz, both out of Old Town.
Old Town canoes are coming through. I was talking to Merritt's a couple years ago for their fishing expeditions. I can't believe all those propellers they put in their kayaks and whatnot. Anthony McChesney out of Dedham with a sweet mohawk. All natural hair.
Right on his heel is Gary Cresswell and Jeff Henderson, both from Amherst.
Amherst. Are they UMass fans or what? Making a pass. Oh, boy. Port Soul, Winter, Witten coming through. Old Town and Blaine. In the t-shirts. Oh! Spin it like a top. Don't keel over, you're just in t-shirts.
You don't meet a lot of Morts these days. Maybe that's why.
What is this plan? They're going with the inevitable. They're like, we're gonna lose it.
You get the car.
Oh boy.
Oh.
He tried for history and missed.
Oh, Mort.
You're assuming that's the Mort based on his, based on the actions. I love it. You're probably right. We always have a 50-50 chance. Little bumpy ride there in the 140s.
Chase Demos, Gus Demos out of Newport.
That time we had some Cooper flag fans coming on down. Imagine Cooper and Ace going through here. Karen Blakelock, Connor Burke, Lewiston, and Cambridge, Mass. on the 216. 174 coming up also.
Jonathan White is 127 in the back.
Behind Jen Adams, registered to 174 out of Westport, Island, Maine. Tough one on the front end there. Connor, what are you seeing down there?
Hey guys, so I am here with Greg. We were squatting down here. I know, Greg, you have told me that this is your first time ever coming to this race. I gotta ask, what do you think so far?
I think it's been pretty fun because we were in a different spot earlier that was like super wet and like so we moved over to here.
And what do you think of the view so far here? You've seen a lot of fun action here?
Yeah. My favorite part was probably like the brown like wooden boat getting stuck on that rock.
I absolutely love it. Now, what are you most looking forward to watching in this race?
Probably just seeing boats go by and seeing who wins.
And I gotta ask you, do you think this is something you ever gonna want to try one day?
Of course.
Of course? I love it. Now, when you, do you think you're gonna do it for fun or are you gonna try and win? Both? You know what? That's a great answer. That is a fantastic answer. Now, Greg, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of this race, but I want to thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy it. And in the meantime, guys, I'm going to send it back to you. And hey, we got a racer. We got to keep an eye out here for years to come.
Hey, that's awesome. Connor, real quick, I do want to ask you, little guy down there had you in your catcher stance, and a big mantle that you're bringing up here in the next month or so is the WABI softball team at Union Street. Where do you have me and Sully in the lineup, both batting and fielding?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, we still have to try and figure out positions. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm trying to think. I feel like you know, Ben, Sully, you guys would be good 3 and 4 hitters. I'm seeing a lot of power from you guys. In terms of positions of the field, I told Mr. Brian Sullivan he's got to be the tallest guy on the team. And listen, if I'm playing any position in the infield, I'm gonna need height because I have a tendency to throw that ball way too high. So. It's going to be a lot of trial and error. We might have some practices in the meantime, but it should be fun. I haven't done this for years, so I can't wait.
I really like the sound of that. I hope that's the lineup card on opening night.
A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. That's about 204 is Lindsey Mitchell, Tyler Mitchell, both out of Corinth. And 120 is Paul Leisure out of Concord, New Hampshire.
Okay, now I do need to bring back Kurt Olson and Todd Simcox into the broadcast because it is starting to rain again. So we'll see how hard it gets or if it's just a passing shower.
We were looking at the radar pretty good here. It seemed like we're just a little tail of this rain is going to go right over us. But this is, I would say, as they would like, what they would call it is as advertised. Rain showers to start as the day goes along. Gonna get a little nicer, but yeah, we could go without the rain returning here, couldn't we?
Yeah, completely agree. It's another Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race day where it's typical. You're gonna get wet no matter what. This Salute to Heroes is sponsored by Physical Therapy and Balance Center in Bangor. Call Physical today and love your life. If I was in this race, I might need some physical therapy after all the bumps and falls I'd be taking. Safely seated, that 247.
That's Dean and Henry Boudreau out of Trenton.
Oh boy, look, we got a Hunter in the mix now at 271.
Chris Dalton from Bangor.
There he goes.
Flying it solo, Chris. Way to go.
Let's hope he's been flying solo all day and hasn't lost any passengers.
Yes, disagreement.
Any quitters.
Ahead of the falls here.
Yeah. A disengagement. All right, we got one.
I think it's 83. I got Allison Ouellette and Monica Ouellette. Oh, 182. Sorry.
182. Connie McVeigh and
Andrew Oldenburg.
Oldenburg out of Bangor, taking a spill. 182. I don't know if you want to represent 395 that way. Those canoes fill up fast when you wreck them.
The power of the water. You see when it gets hung up on the rock there, how hard it is to dislodge it.
Okay, so get this. WABI began our tradition of airing the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race in 1997. Here are some of our favorite memories of past race coverage. Sponsored by Winsmore Garage Doors and more. Everyone wins at Winsmore.
Live from 6 Mile Falls in Bangor, welcome to Channel 5 Sports coverage of the 31st running of the Kenduskeag Canoe Race.
Well, good morning. I'm Tim Throckmorton here with Laney Witt, and we got a cast of characters here today, and boy, you should be glad you're home watching this on television, I think.
We just saw our first spill in the water. Wouldn't want to be those canoers.
They're being dragged out by Dirigo Search and Rescue already. It's the 31st annual running of the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe and Kayak Race.
We're going to be talking to some folks on the sidelines who are eagerly awaiting the rest of the canoes coming down. They're all pretty excited about it.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting place to hang out right where I am.
We got ourselves a perfect day for this. Bright sunshine. Oh, one problem. Water's still a little bit cold down there.
We're waiting for Zip Kellogg. Who knows where he is? Matt, please swing the camera around because this gentleman right here, it's what, 10 o'clock in the morning and you're already heckling me.
See, it's pretty quiet down here. Behind me, though, a lot of people already starting to crowd up along the banks here.
Throughout the race, I'll be checking in with spectators who right now are anxiously awaiting for these racers to come on down the stream.
We'll have the spills and chills. Let's send it back to the guys in the truck.
We weren't competing to win anything because everybody was passing us. Hence the phrase, if you can't be fast, be funny.
Good morning and welcome to the banks of the Kenduskeag Stream. I'm Tim Throckmorton, joined by Hillary Billings for the 41st running of the Kenduskeag Canoe Race.
I don't know. I've done this race 2 years in a row. I'm a vet. First year we did it 2.5 hours. Second year I did it with my stepdad Phil. It was 4.5 hours, a little longer.
Nearly 500 boats, about 900 paddlers in this year's canoe race.
I just heard that it's 408 boats, which is it's about 98 boats more than last year, nearly 100 more boats.
It's a little cold, about 50. Could be worse, though. It's been colder. Hold on, we have someone coming right behind me. They're portaging. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yes, there is a Dracula sighting. Here he is.
Yes, hello. I'm here at the 2018 Kenduskeag Canoe Race with a fellow reporter. Now,
Hi, Courtney Cartwright, everyone.
Once again, thanks for all the search and rescue, and thanks to everybody. Bangor Parks and Rec just putting on a spectacular event, having everybody so excited and treating everybody so well. Really a staple for our Eastern Maine area, and just having it every year and having it be this fun.
We want to thank Coastal Auto Parts, the title sponsor for our coverage of today's race. Coastal Auto Parts, owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
That's Quinn Cute, Boat 96 out of Providence, Rhode Island.
I never get to do commercial reads. Those are always fun. 360 for 181. Who you got?
Phoebe Goss and Nancy Jacobson from Kingfield and
I
Bangor.
got 51 barreling through. Cora Cashcooley and Matt Talbot, Deerfield, New Hampshire, South Portland, Maine. Again, doing our best with the first names. Oh! And they're doing their best, it seems, as they completely capsize.
Can't celebrate, but the rapids are just the beginning here.
Yeah, unbelievable. 157, the Newport exit, the main sauce, Bangor Bucksport.
I mean, they're bringing the main sauce right there, right through, around the rock. There you go.
Those are both your town, Sully. Got to have some Maine sauce. Hope Todd Simcox isn't upset with that name.
Michael Como, Adam Jones, Scarborough, Maine, Falmouth, Maine.
There you go. Scarborough, the keepers of that rare
He's got like
trading
in
card.
The back, it's like the prototype life jacket, the old-fashioned yellow. You don't see that as much.
He's got to stay ahead of it. Hunter Clucky, Kyle Sidaway, Bradley, and Dedham. Connor, what's up?
Well, guys, I can see you from where I'm standing at right now, all nice and warm in that nice little booth. But so you might not be able to tell, but the rain is certainly picking up here streamside. This area that people are coming through, it is getting a lot slicker. And one tactic that we've seen a lot of people employ, whether it's the rain and also, water splashing into the canoe or kayak, oftentimes they will have tiny little buckets. They will get in there, scoop it all out, trying to stay afloat. So I'm going to be interested to see how the added rain kind of builds on the challenges for a lot of these people out here racing today. I know we have a lot of folks here streamside, hardy folks who are sticking it out, watching this regardless. So we're going to see what kind of challenges that presents. But I certainly thought it would be sunnier by this point. Back to you guys.
Just keep the microphone dry, Connor. That's
Ryan
the most important.
Morrison
I'll do my best.
And,
I'll do my best.
Sophie Morrison there. Yeah, 6 Mile Falls is a bridge, Connor. It's a natural protection. You could just slide under the bridge, watch, and you stay dry. Look at that. You're the one standing in the bank out there. I guess if you got the muck boots on, you got to stand in the muck. If you got it, flaunt it.
Speaking of that, look at the outfit here on 68 getting hung up on Pride Rock.
That's David King and...
I'm going to go with Rebecca.
Rebecca Pelletier.
There you go. Spinning and swimming. Woo indeed. I think that woo might have came from Connor off mic. Picked him up on the parabolic that time.
He just realized if you go under the bridge and stay dry.
Oh boy. Hopefully we'll get reception down there. 231's coming on down.
That's the Kylies, Bryant and Joseph from Brewer and Holden. Nice job, guys.
There we go. Making a long drive from Brewer and Holden. 221 and 231 were in quite a chase just now, but now we have Connor, Casey, and Garth Dustin. Brooklyn, New York, Arundel, Maine. Brooklyn, that has to be the toughest canoe in the race.
Could be. Rain is starting to pick up.
You love to see it.
I love to see it from underneath my coverage here. Ooh,
those guys were rocking all the way through. That was an intentional comedy crash.
The moonwalk through the rapid.
That's right.
Roberta Judkins, Tamara King from Holden, Mass. and Hamden, Maine.
The colors are coming through right now. An 80s bro. And they're following the same track right on top of the rock. They got the boom box. What do you play in an inflatable boom box?
Maybe if we listen, we might be able to catch a little bit. 188 is Carolyn Bass and Tiffany Wilson, both from Orono.
Nice little pack coming through. 148 and 184.
In the back, Maggie Page, Bryson Power from Auburn and Westbrook.
They're starting to get rained on. Real bad. Oh! That's a little bit of a shot.
Bounced off. They're okay. Spirits high. Hey, good for you.
Look what happens when you get rained on wearing a banana suit. That's them. Garrett Black, Hazel Stark, Surrey, rolling on through.
You've got an overturned vessel there, middle of the water.
And they get to say goodbye to that one, as that's not their problem.
I think that's Leah Beck and Charlie Biondo, both out of Bangor in the drink there, boat 191. Good work by the Three Rivers rescue boat.
If I was up there on the rock, if I was in like the green, I'd be like handing out hot chocolate.
That's Thomas Bennett and another Bennett Dice. First name not listed.
Those are some
Michigan
sweet,
and Herman, Maine.
Some sweet sunnies there. You got to rock them even on a rainy day. 240. Reese Costello, Will Kutcher, Portland and Bath.
Nice.
Let's hope they don't take a bath here on the rapids.
Kept it wide. Nice job, gentlemen. Boat 15, Izzy Bouchard, Ada Kuykendall, and Ron Lisnett from Bangor Brewer and Skowhegan.
Followed up by Dan and Matt Pellerin out of Levant.
Ooh,
we might have some trouble here.
Oh, baby.
Oh, doubling it up. It's a mess. Holding up, everybody. It's pouring rain.
That was a pretty solid connection.
Yeah.
Trying to get themselves squared away here.
Bree Doherty and Jeff Gagne, Deer Isle. And it's not an easy fix for this couple of canoes here. They're having trouble still at the rock. They're getting the toss just off screen.
Ron Lisnett, longtime
turned right into the rock. That had to hurt.
Sports guy here in the area. Works at the University of Maine now.
Right.
Calls the Maine basketball games on the radio.
Oh, there you go.
A lot of people know Ron.
Joe Dawson, Adam Tuttle in 264 had probably one of the more painful falls into that rock. That was all body, no boat. They're standing around. They might have a problem.
Wide view of all the action here is a lot of people on the rapids all at once.
It's picking up. We're jammed. That was still the Pellerin Brigade in the water. Couple of zigzag patterns working out okay for some red canoes, having much less trouble. Nothing portages like a John Deere tractor. Woo. Who's got 238? Liam and Tim Waring out of Orono. Of course, I count 9 stickers. Sticker number 10, or do they get the sticker before the race? Do they have to finish the race with a sticker? Did Debbie tell you that?
I think it comes with your sign-up pack.
Okay, gotcha. So they got number 9 today.
There you can see some people trying to get the water out of the boat, get back to it. Still a long way to go to downtown Bangor.
That's operative. They're trying to. This Salute to Heroes is sponsored by Physical Therapy and Balance Center in Bangor. Call Physical today and love your life. All of these canoe racers trying to get closer to those downtown Bangor sponsors we have. Got 154, Eric and Heather Olson, I'm going to guess, or Heath Olson, Hamden, Maine. Again, we got some first name cutoffs here today. 244, Greg Romer, Blake Williams, Naples Sacco, teaming up.
The Maine hockey sweater, I think.
Maine hockey sweater, and I hope that's just a flag and not an umbrella. This race isn't for the weak. 2:15.
That's Andrew Baker, Ryan Baker from Glenburn and Alton.
With the Philadelphia area code, no wonder they're trailing the pack like my Flyers. 377.
Dean Dagan, Vincent Dagan from South Berwick and Nottingham, New Hampshire.
I know a couple Dagans running the show at Maine Maritime Academy.
The Bakers.
Bumpy ride.
Yep, fabulous Baker boys go in the water.
150 on the trail. Paul Fecto, Lily Willett, Greg Glenburn. Looks like a fun ride. A sweet bike helmet on 179, little shove off the rock.
Maddie Cormier, Karina Gaddy, Ipswich, Mass, and Egan, Minnesota.
Minnesota. A Coach Ben Barr fan if you're from Minnesota.
I do know that for the first time ever this year, as we got Josiah Harper and Luke Harper going through 267, our first ever Kentucky paddlers in the race this year. A couple people from Kentucky registered and are taking part in the race today.
Is that right? That explains the starting trumpet today. Okay.
It's almost time for a little Churchill Downs action.
There you go. I'm getting ready to check out the Bangor Raceway, too.
Jack Burke out of Hamden, all by his lonesome. Nose as a rock to avoid.
An early shot there of Connor Magliozzi watching the portagers, staying out of the race. Nice. Alex Searson, Josh Simzak, my best guess in 73 out of Orono.
That's not ideal.
Lost and found.
All lost items.
6 more
check
miles.
With Tracy Willett and Deb Jondro on Monday. They're going to be
is that right?
Off tomorrow. Yeah,
they run
Bangor Parks and Rec. I don't. Yeah.
That sounds like a busy job. The stream race, lost and found.
306 is Zachary McClyman and Connor Ransom from Albany, Ohio, and Poolesville, Maryland.
Maryland, okay. Maybe went to my school. They're going backwards in bailing though right now. Where I would be. Justin Carr, Nathan Howe out of Kelly, Wyoming, and Berwick, Maine.
Got a sticky situation upriver there as a couple people and a boat with no one in it.
Less than ideal. Like, at least get to the falls, man.
Well, the boat's going to.
Yeah, it's true. So that's the natural curve right there. You just let it to the water. Where are you? That is 26. You want to put an ID on that?
It's Casper, the friendly ghost. Is in
okay.
there. Yeah. Daniel and Douglas Fogg are the ones who will be trying to track that vessel down.
These guys are in good shape. Robert Gray and David White from Levan. They got it no problem.
Oh, let's see, Matilda Birch and William Green, Orono and Old Town.
Representing the brand well. There's one sticker.
They'll be back.
They'll be back.
Take on the rapids like that.
Wide shot, a couple folks are finally getting their breath over at the portage area on the right, getting back in the race.
You can make a killing with some hot coffee over there down where Connor's hanging out. Bring a little box of Joe, and next thing you know, a couple dollars in your pocket.
Look, I want to give them credit. You know, it's raining out here. We got to cover, but we do have open air watching the race, all right? We're still cold like everybody else.
Nice shot there. Some people figuring things out. Another crew heading to downtown Bangor.
You know, there are some interesting people and stories tied to this race. Here's one of those stream side stories, sponsored by Canoe, featuring 3 floors of creative dining inside and out.
Canoe number 147 is ready for anything in this year's Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race, which looks to be a rainy affair.
We've paddled in 90-degree weather, and we've paddled in the snow, and everything in between. If you get wet, get back in and paddle some more.
Well, you won't get sunburnt, and it should be smoother with the water so high.
Brian Dell says it's important for the team, including his grandson Logan, to communicate well in the canoe.
And they've got to tell me where the rocks are. Steer around the rocks.
Paddle hard, I guess, and listen to your stern man, and just try not to get wet. I've seen most of it. I haven't seen 6 Mile Falls, but we're going to maybe go practice tomorrow.
Brian Dell is happy to see Boutelier continue the family tradition in his first career race through 6 Mile Falls.
It's the rite of spring. We got to do it again. Yes. We'll see how we make out. He's got a brother.
I've only ever been for like recreational purposes. I've never raced before.
Brian Dell has 40 career race stickers on his canoe, while Boutelier is turning 14 next month.
Live coverage of the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race on WABI is sponsored by Coastal Auto Parts, owned and operated by a Maine family that cares. Physical Therapy and Balance Center in Bangor. Call Physical today and love your life. Next Home Experience. Get looped and get sold. 201 Power Sports, offering power sport rentals and more in Bingham, The Forks, and Jackman. Winsmore Garage Stores and more. Everyone wins at Winsmore. And Canoe, featuring 3 floors of creative dining inside and out.
Love the family traditions going on now. Sully, I know you're a big Ben Barr fan and you watch all of my stories and whatnot, but the one big quote from Tom Grandpa Tom telling his grandkid Logan is, hey, we have discussions. So it's like, boy, you guys take it seriously. You got to be on the same page. Can't wait to see 147 come through today.
That is a couple of members of the Westbrook Police Department.
Oh, boy.
Representing.
How do you know the Westbrook Police Department?
It's a long story, Ben.
We're only on for another 45 minutes, so yeah.
Declan Coster and Bruce Wyatt from Pittstown, New Jersey, and Orono, Maine. Yeah! Don't celebrate till you get past the rock, big guy.
Seeing them make that mistake, and yes. Sully is always right when it comes to an early celebration. Take note, Atlanta Falcons.
Indubitably.
Oh! Oh, man, almost a scrunching situation there.
That's Gabe Pelletier and Joe Roy from Bowdoin in boat 265. Boy, and that is
that
a
canoe
vessel
is cooked.
That has seen better days.
Boy. Surprised that would happen to an old town canoe. It's a matter of just Wait, way it hits.
Tim Brown, Matt Shankweiler, both from Bangor.
The Tim Brown?
Both into the water.
Notre Dame and Raiders legend Tim Brown.
That's a Heisman winner right there.
There you go. He's striking a pose under the water. Oh, they got the toss. That is a bruised ego there. I love just the random canoe coming in from out of frame without anybody riding it. Oh, no. We're going to get split again.
Traffic jam here. That's Hanako Moulton and Seven Steiner from Bar Harbor.
Followed up by Ben Hale and Frank Platt, Orono, Maine, and Burlington, Vermont. Connor, you've got a front row seat down there.
Hey guys, I'm here with my friend Bob. Now, sir, obviously we've seen a lot of people capsizing, but when they do, we have a crew out here who is there to rescue and wrangle them in. We see a little bit of that happening right now. Now I got to ask you, these people who are out here, just who are they?
Well, most of them are from Lincoln Search and Rescue, Lincoln Fire, Lee Fire, Springfield Fire. We have medical personnel. Some of these guys out here have got 40 years on this river. And my newest one, who's out here on this river right-hand side, this is her first year. She's 17 years old.
So 17 years old, first year taking part of the race. Now I got to ask, from your observation, how's she done so far?
She's doing really well. We have started out here a little early in the morning and got her used to walking in the water, which was an experience for her. And she's doing really well. She's out there with my son, and he's kind of keeping an eye on her.
And so I got to ask you, obviously this is a big undertaking. I know year after year we do this, but what is the preparation that goes into getting ready for an event like this?
We start lining up people about a month in advance. Then this morning we went and packed all the gear we needed. We started about 6 this morning, packed all the gear, headed down here, get set up. It takes us about 2 hours to get all set up, get the guys in their suits, get all the gear straightened around, make the assignments. This year's water's a little higher than normal. But most of our guys, like I said, average age of experience here is probably 35 years if you ask everybody. So the guys are doing a real good job today.
Well, it's good to hear that every one of these racers out here is in good hands. Now I know you were a busy man, so I will let you get back to it. But I want to thank you for your time.
Three Rivers out there rafting. This is their 4th year down here with us, and they've been a big help this year. Shout out to them especially.
Absolutely, a shout out to them indeed, and thank you to all of those. I do understand that these are all volunteers who are out here today, right?
Volunteers, nobody gets paid for this. We raise money year round, and I'm going to end up buying these guys a steak probably.
It is a well-deserved and a well-earned steak indeed. Again, sir, Bob, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for what you guys do. In the meantime, I'm going to send it back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Connor. Every time on Friday, I like to wind down with the Harry Potter marathon in my office. So I want to shout out Jacob Colopy and Tyler Everett, who we saw a minute ago in 251 in the full Wizards garb. And I bet those were real beards they had on.
Finally, that boat there we were watching got dislodged thanks to a collision by a fellow traveler on the river here.
Boy, that's really unfortunate. I feel bad for them. You probably expect to get dumped over, but you never expect to have a huge dent in your canoe by the end of the race if they're even able to finish the race. Josh and Megan Dilling from Pike, New Hampshire, straight on through. Closest distance to downtown Bangor is a straight line, Sully.
That's what they say. 325 is Joseph Moore and Kathy Nickerson from Kennebunk and Pelham, New Hampshire.
Okay, well, they're taking the different route, the road less traveled. You got 269, Reed Anderson. 351 belongs to Lucas and Maya Collette from Farmington. I believe we had 334 still deep. Nick Levitt and Sam Robinson from Orono. We're getting spun around.
So as long as you're upright.
That's right.
And on the side of the river. There we go.
Out of total danger. We haven't seen many white canoes here.
A couple of clean runs. 246.
And the green one's down.
Zach Boss and Alex Marsh for Hamden and Herman.
It's got to feel a little marshy right now as they get the toss.
Eric Nathanson, Scarborough.
He looks like he's got one of those torpedo kayaks.
But they can move.
Yeah. Jake Clark and Emma Eckert, Orono. Do you have a torpedo bat take?
I mean, as long as it's fun and they're legal, yeah, blast them out of the park. Chicks take the long ball, man.
There you go. Connor, what's the latest down there where it's dry?
Hey, guy. Well, dry is a word. I'm here with a couple of racers now. I just got to ask you, how long have you been coming out and doing this race?
This is the first time. Yeah, we just moved up to Maine from North Carolina. So.
Oh, well, welcome to our wonderful state of Maine. I got to ask, what do you think of the race thus far?
Oh, it's super good. It's a little chilly. The rain keeps coming right as we're drying off. The rain kind of comes and makes us cold again. So it's not super great, but it's the race itself has been super fun. So.
I hate to tell you this, in the state of Maine, this is considered tropical. I'm just letting you know. And so one thing I got to ask, year after year, we have a lot of people here with a ton of energy, cheering on the racers. Now, when you get that kind of reaction from the crowd, as you're pushing along in these conditions, just what does that do for you as a racer?
Yeah, I think the most fun's really been people paddling next to us. We've gotten a lot of compliments on the boat. Our boat's pretty slow, so it definitely pumps us up a little bit to know people, we at least have a pretty stylish boat, and makes us want to keep going. But yeah.
All right, it is a stylish boat indeed, and I know you guys want to get back to racing, so I want to thank you for your time and wish you the best of luck on this race. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Connor. I would ask the North Carolinians if Outer Banks is really like the show.
And I also, were those backup socks that she was throwing on, were those warm socks that she was applying for the last stretch? And also, I would say, at this point in the race, I would say that we're paddlers, participants. We're not really racing at this point. We're having a good time, I think. A lot of questions on that interview there. But
evidently, because that was a massive wipeout during Connor's interview with Mary and Sam Joy and Elijah Joyce. They ate it there on that island.
Thomas Emerson and Emily Grutzine from Bedford, New Hampshire, and the boat 350.
Grutzine. Got Indiana Jones in that boat. A little bit of a break in the action. I'm sure that'll give it a chance to warm up for everybody. We'll be back with more of the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race, but now here's a bird's eye view of the race course, sponsored by Next Home Experience. Get looped and get sold.
The Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race is a timed event over a 16.5-mile course that begins in the village of Kenduskeag. Much of the race is over flat water, but there are some rapids along the route, including the notorious 6 Mile Falls. This is an optional portage point, approximately 10 miles into the course. Many participants choose to run the rapids here, and the site has become a highlight of the event for spectators seeking vicarious thrills from watching race participants navigate the sometimes treacherous drop. Here's a look at the Flour Mill Dam section of the course, one of 2 mandatory portages paddlers face before they make their way into the city of Bangor. The side of the canals lets paddlers know that the finish line is within reach, and fittingly, the race course ends near Kenduskeag Plaza.
You're watching WABI's continuing coverage of the 58th Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race here at 6 Mile Falls. Ben Barr, Brian Sullivan, Connor Magliosi, and our behind-the-scenes crew. Yes!
Kate and Matthew Carey in boat 298, and with the Vuvuzela there, that was Ben Frenette celebrating a victorious run through the rapids.
You gotta let the broadcast breathe for the Vuvuzela.
A little overpowering.
Well, the parabolic mic works.
Luke Patry and Chris Peterson, Lisbon Falls.
More Wizards!
305.
Sorry, more Wizards.
Hey, you're very excited about that.
Yep. Andrew Lee and Kevin Lewis, Winthrop, Maine, and Rockland, Maine. Incredible work. Can you imagine being in this race and starting off with the Vuvuzela all the way through?
It could get a little redundant. I might want to paddle away from the Vuvuzela, but hey, a little bit goes a long way.
Boy, that red canoe is hung up on the rock, and these guys toppling over at 291 have a similar issue. Justin Lapp and Kieran McMorrow.
Boat 281 is Lee Hecker, Ben Richards, Orono, Maine, Turner, Maine.
Followed up by Chester, Vermont's Ian Staples riding solo into your picture frame alongside these guys. There he is, out of 95. 349, Matt Collette and Trumanhauser. Sorry for the first names. Cut off for Nobleboro.
That's a sticky wicket right there.
You know, it's tough, you know, with all that rushing water. These guys are going down.
Shane Borello and Alex Tash from Old Town and Enfield, both 363.
Boy, look at the backwards hats. Looks like this race is part of Rush Week or something.
Jonathan Doty and Mark Trutzen from Madison and Union.
Boy, if that canoe wasn't there, they'd hit the rock. But yeah, you have all the pressure of that rushing water in the canoe. It's really tough to get that turn around. You saw even with the Dennett canoe earlier.
Andrew Kearns, David Kearns, both from Ellsworth. I'm going to guess related.
They know what they're doing. Yup.
Father and son taking on the rapids, avoiding a beached vessel. Way to go.
All right, look at these daredevils coming through.
We have 198 on that one?
Yes. Alice Konasek and
Rachel Newberry.
Rachel Newberry, there you go. Mapleton, Maine.
They look like a very tired paddler grasping on upstream there.
He's just taking it all in. Sean Bouchard out of Clinton. Hey boy, this is just, we got a doggy paddle going on, Sully.
Yeah, I would say if you ever, trepidation right there. Look it up.
That is an in-water portage taking place.
Boat 404, our final entrant from the day, just signed up this morning. Miles Cannon, Zuber Yako from Belfast, boat 404.
Clinton Sam Marshall coming up in the 133 vehicle, followed by 175 is Hope Bouchard and Mackenzie Neto. Clinton is the Hope Bouchard, the Lawrence superstar in sports, field hockey, and basketball in the 175. Yup, there she is. She can do it all. Unbelievable. Lawrence's state champion.
She did a pretty nice job
the
right
versatility,
there.
The skills translate. Field hockey to paddling.
People are just sort of bouncing off that red canoe out there. It's really giving people a nice opportunity to avoid the rock.
I think they're going over for a photo op. The portage exit only, as they goose one of their fans with the front end of the canoe. Finally, the Hawaiians, Joey Braslett and Kason Rushlow, Stetson and Corinth, are all dressed up in my style.
That's Andrew Trombley from Clinton.
Clintons are coming through. It's like the 90s.
I think Connor's going to track down your superstar there. Mitch Morrison, also from Clinton, with a hard hat. Safety first.
It's like they're all hanging out. 131 is another Clinton. Jay Morin. Connor, what's up?
Oh, so I'm here with some of those paddlers you guys just alluded to. Hope, now I got to ask you, just what do you make of the race thus far?
We've had such a fun time. We just got into the 6 Mile Fall, so we were a little nervous, but it's been a lot of fun.
I saw y'all make your way over here. What brings you to this spot in particular right now?
Well, we got some water in our boat, so we figured it'd be a good idea to get that stuff out before we headed on down.
Does seem like a solid plan. No, I have to ask, I know you want to get back to it, but we got some hardy folks out here who have, been going through the rain, cheering you guys on. They're going crazy up there. When you get that kind of, energy from these spectators, what does that do for y'all as racers?
It's very exciting. This entire event has been so much fun, and to see how many people come out here, it's just great.
So, if I ask you that as well?
Wait, I forgot the question.
It's just when you see this kind of energy from these people in the crowd, just what does that do for you as a racer?
It just makes me so excited, and it gets the adrenaline going more. It's so fun.
I know you guys have a dry boat once again, so I'll let you get back to it, but thank you for your time and best of luck for the race. You're very welcome. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Nice job, Connor.
Hope Bouchard, media trained after all these years.
Ronald Harvey out of Garland.
A little bit of a flat ride there.
On a paddleboard, I'd say.
Boy, that's Seems like that's the first one we've seen on the broadcast so far today.
So I know you're wondering, Ben.
Yeah.
How many types of craft are entered in this race?
How many?
22 different kinds. Back in 1977, a guy by the name of Tony Trafton raced a bathtub, tried to take a bathtub through. It was a little cumbersome, and he did make it to 6 Mile Falls. So in 1977, Tony Trafton entered a bathtub into the race.
Jeez, but what happened when he got to 6 Mile Falls? You said he made it here.
I don't
Dot.
I think it just was, there was too much. I wasn't around for the race. Let's see. He either threw in the towel or pulled the plug on the race, depending on which cliche you'd rather swirl down the drain with.
You'll tell me when I'm older. Kaya Douglas and Brock Katz out of Bar Harbor with the tutus. Boy, oh boy. Oh, there's...
Looking sharp.
They got to balance a little bit, but they're making it through all right.
Andrea Kramer and Barclay Plotkin. No
Bar Harbor
names given.
They're like Prince and Cher. Yeah, that red canoe is going to be there. All right, we got the formal wear category coming down now.
Sierra Abrams and...
Give him an S name.
Yes. Samuel
Sure.
Wynn Jones.
Bar Harbor.
Sarah Wynn Jones.
Let's go with that. Reinhardt Smith and Toth Rahani out of Bar Harbor. Now we got the Bar Harbor hyphen names rush, along with a bunch of bumpy rides.
We've been waiting on it, you know.
Yeah, you know, you always wonder when it's going to come through. Oh, another even round 400.
That's Henry Kohler and Cassandra Smith from Duncansville, PA.
Oh, PA. Don't wreck on my behalf. Bump. Little water in the front end. Oh, they can take out of that.
I would say they have handled this like seasoned pros.
You're looking at me like they're going to wreck out. Oh, boy, the youngest canoe racer.
With some advice, you know, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Isn't that the best hindsight coaching? Hey, you know, you really shouldn't have hit that rock. Why didn't you go around it?
Should have gone left.
Why didn't you portage this entire time?
Good for them. Good for everybody for taking on the rapids, right?
That's right. Somebody's got to do it, and it's lucky it's them, not us.
Yeah, that boat's... Send Connor out there to get that.
Yeah, that'd be you and me down there, Brian. It's stuck on it. Connor is getting in the water, right, at some point? That's what I thought.
So his contract said.
I think it was scheduled in there, yeah. I think he should toss one of those rescue.
I think the folks with Three Rivers are going for the canoe.
Oh, you got to go for it.
Let's see what they got here. We got a shot of the red. They're going for it. See if they can paddle upstream. This is not easy.
Mark Redeker was telling us earlier how tough it is to paddle upstream.
Look at that.
A little side paddle. Oh. I was assuming if the seat's that nice, there's got to be a motor on it.
You know, my mother always told me about assuming.
Oh, yeah. True. What's that? It's a canoe coming down the falls after a long break. All right, we're going to stick with the wreck canoe. Oh, no, 357.
Jonathan Amato, Theo Holm from Lebec.
You know, I still have to try Amatos. I've heard good things.
Nice beret there in the back.
They're headed right for the scene. I think they're trying to help out. 391. Oh, a little friendly fire splash from the back paddle.
Cameron and Scott Duff out of Kenduskeag. Looks like a father-son team. Nice job, guys.
So it's their stream canoe race here today, 58th annual. Always love providing the stream race coverage on the streaming platforms. A lot of GoPros this year. Jess Babiak and Oscar Kydell out of Topsom. Another fun town.
There you go. Great around. The Three Rivers folk decided not today.
I think I'm seeing a little bit more. I mean, they're going to have to move that soon because that canoe is seeing a little bit more warped bend as time goes on. Not many orange canoes today, but there's one. The Pocket Canyon 272.
That's Zephyr LaFleur out of Appleton.
Zephyr LaFleur. You got to start with the all-name team. Is that a palm tree or a dragon back there? Flamingo, Pink Panther.
Something tropical.
Let's get tropical. Nice balmy 55-degree rainy day for this year's Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race.
Lydia Burnett and Fiona Lovejoy making their way through the rapids there. Hang on, ladies.
Speaking too soon.
That's a boat with some water in it.
We're headed to the shipwreck.
Justin Cartier out of Bangor. Solo kayak.
They're taking on water.
Yeah, the ladies quickly went from canoe to submarine.
They are submerged. They're paddling through it. Connor, they're starting to get underwater. How about you?
Hey guys, doing my best to stay dry, to be honest. Now I'm here with the Duff family. Now I have seen y'all here sticking it out through the rain for several hours here. Y'all were just going crazy a second ago. Who are you out here supporting today?
We are supporting my husband, dad, and their brother. So he's the oldest, Scott and Cameron. Yeah, they started out this morning and it was wet. We were really excited for them. We watched them take off and launch, and we rushed over here. We did not know how long it was going to take. We were not really fully prepared for the weather, but it's so much fun watching everybody go by. And when we saw them make it through the falls, they talked about how they were going to get through the falls several times. They tried to figure out what they would do if they flipped. They had it all planned out. So watching them go through there was pretty exciting.
I know I heard a bit of a back and forth, saying, you did it, I did it, that sort of thing. So just what was the pride like in that moment, just seeing them, come through?
Oh, yeah, we were so excited to see them. Cameron is 14. They've never done this race before, but they've done some canoeing for fun. So watching them work as a team to make it this far and get through those falls and not flip, we were just so happy for them.
That is fantastic. Now, I will let y'all go so you can get dry and warm, but I want to thank you for your time, and congratulations and best of luck to them the rest of the way. So thank you guys so much. Guys, I'm going to send it back to you in the booth.
All right, now, Connor, we're still having the all-name team kind of rip through the rapids right now. I want to give credit to 338. It was Huck Powers and Teddy Romero out of Bar Harbor with the dueling wooden swords to go along with their paddles. That was incredible, and I can't believe it took us an hour and a half into the broadcast to see some Carhartt gear on camera. Right. Yeah.
Alan Batchelder, 386.
We know Batchelders.
Out of Etna.
Uh-oh. Hope everything's all right there.
Just a testament to some of the support staff that is so necessary during this race, as Connor was talking to some of the people out of Lincoln, all the people streamside here, to make sure that while it is for fun, it is a race which it can be dangerous, and we wish all the best to that paddler who's being tended to.
All right, we got a pair coming up here. 286.
That's Justin Pratt and Matt Stewart from Orrington and Brewer, deciding not to paddle and to tip over.
Deciding to tip over quite early in the rapids, I might add. That might have been the soonest whitewater bail I have seen. There we go. It was a flamingo and a palm tree. Okay, I got it. 166 is in some trouble. The toss.
That is Mead Mountain Outdoor, Stockton Springs and Orland, Maine, representing Mead Mountain Outdoor.
Okay. They caught the toss all right. We've had a lot of Bar Harbor and Down East representation so far today. I can't believe I haven't seen my former broadcast partner Brian Seidlinger toppled down these rapids yet in the last couple of years. He's an adventurous guy.
Still got some race to go. You never know.
Yeah, plenty of time for him.
He's like the Where's Waldo of the paddling community. You never know where you're going to pop up or find him.
That's right. 283 with the Sunnies on a rainy day.
Ben Pooler, Nicholas Pooler, Saco.
Those cool guys from Saco with their sunglasses. Here they go. They're having no problem. No wonder they're cool. Got another, it's talking about Viking vibe. 337 is equipped.
Althea Collier and Sophia Franson, both from Bar Harbor.
And both knocking into that canoe.
There you go.
It beats the rock. For sure. Yeah, it's continuing to be a cloudy, rainy day here. It looks like for the rest of the way. We got a big fan section coming up here. We'll have to see who's coming down. It's all about popularity when it comes to the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race, right?
4:05. I stand corrected. There's your. That is the final entrant.
That is a late entry.
We don't even have their names.
Maybe they don't want us to be saying like, "Hey, they're here. They're supposed to be at work," or like,
that's
at the double date.
That's the Witsec paddlers. Oh, they're hanging out a little extra airtime. Got the paddle.
Oh, they got a lot of water too, though.
The hunt for Red October.
Boy, this is the rickshaw setup where the guy in front does all the work and the second person is just watching. Oh! Now they're talking it over.
That was your fault. No, yours.
Yeah, we're going to have to get some hot chocolate here from those Boy Scouts.
All right, 322 is captained by Semmel Arcula and Ella McDonald, first mate.
That McDonald, that explains the red hair. Faux show. Oh!
Overturn.
A little bit of a late jolt we haven't seen quite so far. Some random torpedo kayak also drifting along. That's going to be toss-worthy. Oh, 263, the Patriotic Life Preserver.
Colin Reed, Oren Stevens from New Gloucester and Portland.
Oh, a couple of shaky travels. Another late entrant will have the 406.
The Anonymous.
389 with a great hat.
Jim Irish, Clayton Zeller from Bethel and Parkman.
That hat looks Russian, not Irish, but okay. That would take forever to dry out. Little side saddle.
Elsie Dopplerud and Joseph Seafried from Howland.
Oh, Penobscot Valley Howler fans.
Jared Willett, Kyle Willett, Brewer, and Bangor.
There we go. Twin Cities combo around that sunken canoe.
We're in a nice rhythm here.
That's right.
They know if you just space it out, you get a little airtime on WABI.
It's like these race starters know what they're doing, 10 miles back. How do you do that? It's stream traffic control.
Oh, nice pan up there. We got, that's 163.
Back to the 160s. Telegraph Road, Old Town Oakland. Very well, I think. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Telegraphs, I haven't heard of a telegraph since the 1900s, so, Oh, no. This is it. See how comfortable we are. Yeah, I would say to get back to the wide shot instead of the narrow one of you and me,
yeah.
that's for sure.
Close up my receding hairline. Let's get more of that on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Mark.
That's what they tune in to see.
Yep.
Especially on the streaming platforms.
That's added value.
The Wiggins and Wilson McLaren Brigade. 313, another prominent area code. With the hat right out of Jurassic Park. I like it.
Clever girl.
Yeah. All right, Connor, what's the latest you got here in the final hour of coverage?
Well, hey guys, I'll tell you what now, we have seen so many great spectators throughout this entire day, but I will tell you what, this area right here in particular has been an absolute party. Some of the loudest people we've heard all day. You know, I'm here with Luca. Luca, is this your first time coming out to a race? You've been here before?
This is my first time here. This is absolutely insane. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this before.
And just what do you make of it thus far? You know, what in particular stands out to you?
Man, honestly, the costumes are off the charts. It's been epic. I think like seeing people just cascade down here and get it's so cool. It's been awesome.
Now, I know this area in particular has been making a lot of noise. Just what is it about this group of people right now that's bringing the energy, you think?
And bringing it, I think, every time we see someone.
That is fantastic. I want to thank you for your time. I'll let you get back to it. Keep making that noise because I tell you what, talking to some of those racers, they absolutely love it. It's been a lot of fun, but in the meantime, guys, I'm going to send it back to you.
That was Connor Magliozzi, Streamside, literally.
Zach Fitzsimmons, Nathan Gilliam from Machias and Wiscasset, respectively. There you go.
Fitzsimmons, that's like a Royal Machias sports family.
We handled the rapids like someone who knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
See Connor navigate his way out of this one. Yep, he's all good. Traversing. Well-made boots. Cleanup efforts still underway for this wayward canoe. This one is like the record for the longest stuck canoe. It's not the most busted up one, but it's been there a while now. 317 and 169 coming up.
317, Evan Dorr and Sadie Waterman from Industry and Savanas.
Followed up by Mead Mountain Outdoor out of Poland and Orland. I feel like I'm reading like a Little League lineup and we have the sponsors and no names.
Rain's starting to pick up a little bit more.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to, This has been probably the busiest rain. It's happened probably about 45 minutes ago and also at 11 this morning. Just steady rain. They're not afraid of it.
Evan Coughlin and Cassandra Radigan out of Lisbon in the 314, the pie boat.
Nice. Another safe crossing for the bucket hat. The blue fishing gear.
Better to have it and not need it.
Oh, 400er. I know that much. It's 401.
That's Fisher Fies and Savannah Reed out of Blue Hill.
There you go. Blue Hill making it in the blue canoe. Yeah, it's really starting to come down a little bit.
Another red canoe approaching. That's Ben McKay and Jack McKay out of Bangor. Recognize Jack.
Oh, really?
Done a lot of interviews. Well, he works food and medicine out of Brewer. Does a lot of good for a lot of people. Used to have an annual appointment with Jack every Labor Day Council. They do a lot of stuff over there. So Jack does a lot of good for a lot of people and had a pretty nice run there at the Rapids.
Yeah,
Jack and his son.
I'm glad you knew him because I was going to get ready to ask if he was related to Steve McKay, the legend. 170.
Another Mead Mountain Outdoor vessel.
You've got 311, captained by Riley Frazier and Jamie Sidaway, Bangor, Dedham combo.
Right behind them is Hadley Urad and Caroline Hilly from Norway and Bangor.
A canoe-to-canoe bump in the background, followed by a wreck in the foreground from everyone we just mentioned. Great participants in now this afternoon's race.
Riley Frazier, Jamie Sidaway, you just had them, right?
Yep.
Little superhero crew, little capes.
Keeping the hair dry. Impressive work.
Yeah, way to go.
It's another rainy one as 359 bumps on through the other side. You're getting the long portage route look at Hadley Korad and Caroline Hilly from Norway and Bangor, respectively. Can't go that way. Shout out all the volunteers and event helpers that we got in our wide shot of the 58th annual running of the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race. WABI has had its coverage since 1997. 97 was a great year.
What did you like about it so much in 1997?
That I was 5 and I didn't have any responsibility in the world. Chuck E. Cheese was what my life revolved around.
You were 5 in 1997?
Yep.
Born in 92?
Yep.
My goodness. I thought you were like 50.
How does that make you feel? Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Somebody forgot something upstream there.
Yeah. You mentioned Brian Seidling earlier in the broadcast. He always surprises me. I went down to see him in Down East. He turned 47 last year. Unbelievable. I was like, geez, what's your secret, man? He works out a little bit, but then his buddies were like, well, the hat really helps.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Fountain of youth.
That's right. 100's making it. James Brown, the soul, James Brown.
I feel good.
Seebick. Yeah, no. So back, they'll be going with their river race. I always like talking to them about it. Got the word about the fishing derbies, too.
There you go. See, you got to have the umbrella today. Connor, he's our streamside reporter. And now he's
roadside.
Streamside?
He's a roadside reporter now.
Yeah. Got to turn that baby on.
Oh, there we go. All right. You know what? Anything can happen on live television. Now, y'all have been up here for how long, I got to ask?
About an hour.
In an hour or so. Now, I got to say, y'all got a pretty spectacular view here of the action, staying dry, I see, with an umbrella. What did you make of the race thus far?
It's great. We're having fun.
And I was going to ask you, is this the first time you've ever come out to the race? Oh, this is your first time? All right, well, I got to ask you, first time coming to this race, what are your thoughts thus far?
It's good.
It's good? Can I ask maybe, why do you think this race has been so good?
It's fun having racing. It's fun. It's like fun having them struggle and stuff.
I will admit the wipeouts have been a lot of fun. Another thing that's been fun, we talked to a lot of people about, is the costumes. I got to ask, y'all have a great vantage point right here from where you're standing. What have been some of the favorite costumes you think you've seen thus far today?
Wizards.
The Wizards was a pretty good one, I'm not going to lie. And just what strikes you most about this view? Do you think you can see kind of everything super well?
Yeah.
And just any moment that we've seen today that really strikes you as a favorite that you've seen thus far?
Nothing.
No? That's okay. But I got to ask, you guys still having fun?
Yeah.
And do you think this is a race one day that you guys are going to take part in?
No.
No? Bud, what about you? You think you're going to do this race one day? That's okay. I respect the honesty. Sometimes it's just great to be a spectator. You guys are having a lot of fun. I'll let you get back to it, but thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the race. And I'm going to send it back to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, the real winners are definitely the fans. I get that. They can definitely stay warm. There's no rapids up here in the comfortable booth. That's for sure.
Kids just sitting there enjoying seeing people struggle, like Katie Matthews and Connie Schofield from Bath.
Oh boy,
Connor.
You're gonna have
Schofield.
You're gonna have to go back to Bath with this story about being submerged on network television. Unreal. Let's see if we can get any more good showings or some wipeouts here. We're on till 2 o'clock here from 6 Mile Falls, the place to be for the Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race. One more shout out to Trevor McLean, who comfortably did this so long ago.
Huge shout out to our crew too. Yeah. All the guys come set this thing up and get beautiful pan-ups like that. So you don't get that on a lot of television stations. We're the only station in the entire country that broadcasts a canoe and stream race, by the way.
By the way.
Yeah, you know, you don't get this anywhere else but right here.
And also, we want to thank Coastal Auto Parts, the title sponsor for our coverage of today's race. Coastal Auto Parts, Owned and operated by a Maine family that cares. There's Coastal. Every time I see the Napa, I always get reminded of like the Waltrip family from NASCAR. Like Michael Waltrip always had Napa gear, and then Daryl's like insane. He's like boogity, 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 all that. I don't think our starts are quite as fast as a NASCAR race, though.
These guys got to get this boat just lodged before we get off the air. We're T-minus 9 minutes until we sign off here. So
I was going to say before dark. But yeah, we need some more trapeze or something to get through.
Got a boat
get that off that.
Approaching the rapids now, so we can get that number 262. That is Benjamin Speed and Serena Speed. Ben Speed is somebody we work with for Northern Light. They help us organize a bunch of our interviews for our healthy living segment. So Ben, shout out to you. Look at him.
Got plenty of stickers on that.
Take that rapids beautifully. I recognize Ben. Way to go. We see him on a lot of our tapings.
There you go.
Great job. Love working with Ben.
Oh, they got through that fast anyway. There we go. That. He's not afraid of it. Don't eat that. Ben Speed waving hello. So Brian is beside himself, rooting for his buddy. All right, down the stretch we come with 374s, Max Stevens and Wyatt Stevenson out of Wayne. Taking over the town. I think they're finally getting some headway back with that wrecked red canoe.
They're bringing in the heavy artillery.
Yeah, there we go. You got to do it. Sometimes you just got to do it.
Still a few boats out there making their way towards the rapids, but certainly things starting to slow down a little bit. That's why we picked this.
And you don't see nothing for an hour. We haven't seen Tom and Logan from the Streamside Story and Look Back yet. They're in 147. Maybe I'll just speak them into existence. We're getting into the real late entrance now.
Carter Blees and Rob Herrick from Freeport and Yarmouth, Maine. Hang on, guys.
Whoa! I don't get what's so complicated. You tell them to hang on, and they don't hang on. A frustrated canoeing parent up here.
Science.
Ryan Sullivan. It's pretty simple. Don't tip over.
You got to power through. Can't stop paddling.
That's okay. Oh, the humanity. That's what the cheers are for, though.
That is one tired individual.
6 miles to go.
That's Tom Moriarty.
Oh, that was easy.
That's how they do it in Milford, Maine, right
Nothing
there.
Nothing to it.
What?
Yeah, what? Oh!
He celebrated just a smidgen too early. Look at that.
He's very good at what he does.
Don't try that at home. Tom Moriarty from Milford.
Was nuts. Zach Lee, Shane Tracy, Brewer, Maine.
Did he not see the canoe?
I think he was up in arms with like, what the heck's going on? Why is this not out of my way? I want to take on the rock.
Tried to jump it. Samuel Shepard and Sophia Sturdivant from Scarborough and Yarmouth.
That's a different Sturdivant from Morgan Sturdivant. All the Sturdivants are on vacation. Bouncing around. More Carhartt.
Need it on a day like this.
All right. All right, almost can't see this one. In the 390s.
That is Aaron Emerson.
That looks, yeah, the Banana Man Road. Very cool. That's the coolest kayak so far today. Oh, you got to bail a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, there was a mosquito.
Whatever you say. Yeah, great day for canoe race and mosquitoes. That's for sure, buddy, as we wind down. So yeah, we'll have to see if that red canoe is there next year for the race.
That'd be something.
As we wind
become
down.
a staple here.
That's right. It's stapled to the rock right now. We got another duo coming up in the late window. Connor, last ups, what's up?
Well, hey guys, so I am in the water, which means that our broadcast is coming to a close. Now, full disclosure, I may have gone a little too deep here a minute ago. I brought these boots because I figured Sully was going to make me go into the water. Now, they are currently filling. My feet are getting wet. Now, I wouldn't describe this as particularly fun, and that kind of reminds me, I just want to give a quick shout out to the amazing people that are here in the water who are out here rescuing them. Once again, they are doing this unpaid. They are volunteers for this event. Obviously, I know we like to make a lot of fun out of some of these wipeouts. Obviously, it can be dangerous, but having them on scene here to get everyone to safety, they're doing a phenomenal job. Just had to give a quick shout out and thank you to them as always. I'm going to do my best, and now we're completely filled. I always find a way to embarrass myself on television in these moments, but you know what? This is the kind of dedication that I have as a journalist. It's been a lot of fun as always covering the stream race yet again. Now I'm going to do my best to go get dry because I got to anchor the 6 and 11. Quick shout out to our shows tonight. In the meantime, guys, I'm going to send it back to you in the booth.
Hey, thanks so much, Connor. You did a great job today, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Shameful plug of his own shows.
Unbelievable, though. Maybe next year he'll get waist deep in the water.
You got to really recognize how much boot you got.
He's got to get.
He almost immediately went.
He's got to get his clam digger gear on in order to stay completely dry. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see if we have a couple of more canoes here as we sign off in a couple minutes. But it's been a great new edition of the race, Sully.
Yeah, it's
big takeaways.
I think that this is one of the. When I started working at Channel 5, I was thrilled to get asked to be a part of this. I still love doing it. It's something that's super unique to the state of Maine, and people come from all over the country to take part in it, and we take pride in putting it on. So we try to have some fun doing it and try to bring you some of the people that take it real seriously. But it means a lot to a lot of families. It means a lot to a lot of people who come and really care about kayaking and canoeing, and just Ben and I chat, but it's really everybody else behind the scenes, and Connor chat as well. You see how you get a little wet there, but shout out to just the station for putting it on, and our sponsors for wanting to invest their money in it, because this is a real unique thing that we do at Channel 5, and I love being a part of it. So it's real fun being here today.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better. You know, it obviously takes a huge village to get this put on, whether you're helping to organize the event, you're one of the volunteers today, our behind-the-scenes crew, and all the great competitors. I want to shout out, we just saw 376, Eve Mockler, Justin Mockler, and Hazen Pelling were registered for that out of Carmel. So, yeah, it's been another great year. The rain was on and off. This time, maybe we'll get that 90-degree day someday, when Tom Brindle was talking about that in one of my stories. So, but, yeah, that'll just about do it for us here. It looks like we have a clear, wide shot to wrap up our coverage. Thanks so much for tuning in this year to WABI's coverage of the 58th annual Kenduskeag Stream Canoe Race. For Brian Sullivan, Connor Magliozzi, our outstanding crew, and everybody to help us with our coverage, I'm Ben Barr, signing off. Have a great day.